guys, welcome back to the Vinyl Files. Tacos are good here. My partner Kaiser Door did his record store day haul video. I'm gonna do mine, as you see, a lot less beer than the previous videos. But this is actually the first record store day that I camped out for. The shop I usually go to, it's called We Got the Beats in Fort Lauderdale. They have two locations, but their OG location in Lauderhill, they typically get everything and multiple copies of everything. They don't mess around when it comes to record store day. They have like 4 different distributors. They order multiple copies from each one, so they pretty much know they're going to get a lot. This year there was a lot I wanted. Obviously my budget had to, pare a few things down. There's a couple releases I didn't get that I really would have liked to get and kind of kicked myself for not, but I mean, that's always the case. Even if I pick those up, I'm sure something else I'd be kicking myself about. I did, like I said, wait in line though, because while they did get everything, certain things they only got 1 or 2 copies of. And I was gonna go down about 6 in the morning, and my wonderful wife informed me I came home from work, I think that night about 11 o'clock, that there was already a line forming there. There's already people in line, and the release that she really wanted, that I promised I would make sure they got 1 copy of. So changed my clothes and drove down, and she actually drove down and camped out with me. She slept in the car about half the time, but she still did it like a trooper. So I'll start with that record. This was the one she had to have, and I actually like this record quite a bit too, so it's not exactly like, I did it for nothing or just for her. It's Pepper, Pink Crustaceans and Good Vibrations. This was a limited run. It's the first time ever on vinyl, and it was limited to 1,000 copies worldwide. Will it get repressed? Probably, because I think it was a record store day first. But this is the OG. Comes on this cool, like, reflective cover, and I did want to show the vinyl because I actually think it's really cool. It's a kind of a pink splatter on a clear record. But we did get it. There was 1 copy. We ended up being 4th in line. And thankfully, the people that were in front of us had other things in mind. So we did get that one. Also, as my partner in crime highlighted, The Crow. This was my big one. The minute the list came out, I circled this. This was my A1 thing I wanted. 8,000 copies worldwide. I've heard there was some issues with the distributorship, so certain stores didn't get what they're supposed to. My store got 5 copies. So I was able to snag it. As Kaiser said, I snagged him one as well because he was unable to find one. Won't spend too much time on this one because he already highlighted it, but The Crow original motion picture soundtrack. And for what it's worth, those songs hold up on it, especially the Rollins Band song. Love that song. Also, one I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on, Weezer, Dusty Gems, and Raw Nuggets. He highlighted this as he got this as well. Great outtakes and kind of B-sides from their early Blue Album period. The one thing I will say, it has my favorite Weezer song on it, which is Jamie. It's on a DGC Rarities compilation that I actually had the CD of. But that's like my favorite Weezer song, and it's on here. First time on wax, so that's pretty cool. Next one was another one for my wife. But it's actually, I'm not even gonna lie, it's got some nice little beats to it. Is Robin Body Talk. I didn't even know Robin was still a thing, if I'm being honest with you, until fairly recently. My wife told me, yeah, because I was looking at the record store day list and I saw this on there. I was like, oh, Robin's still doing things, huh? And the channel Too Many Records, actually, after I was talking about it, highlighted this as one of his pickups. So I'm like, oh, let me see. I looked at there's one pressing before. This is a reissue. And the original pressing goes for like $500, and I couldn't fathom why. But she likes Robin, and she had listened to this album and was like, yeah, there's a song in there I really, really dig. So I was like, well, if the original press is $500, why not take a flyer on it and grab it for her? And she's been spinning this a lot, actually. She digs this one a lot. I mean, it's not really my thing, but it's got a couple good catchy tunes to it. But it's a double vinyl on white. I think it's like a rearrangement of certain of the songs, made in the Czech Republic. But this was limited to, it doesn't say on here, but I want to say it was 5,000 copies, 2,000 copies, something like that, but it was limited. The next one, I went back and forth on. This was, aside from The Crow, the one that I circled immediately when the list came out that I wanted. And then they showed the packaging, and I was a little bummed about the packaging, so I was like, maybe I'll skip on it because I didn't know about the packaging, but I'll get to that in a second. Bone Thugs and Harmony, E1999 Eternal. This album is a hip-hop classic. And the packaging, as you see, is basically just a white sleeve sticker, back sticker. Two discs. And it's not the original artwork from the album. This is the first time it's ever on vinyl. Well, officially. There was, I think, a bootleg press of this as well. But this is the first actual pressing. And I really, really wanted it because of the music itself. So I was like, the packaging kind of threw me, but I decided, screw it, I'm going for it. And actually the packaging has kind of grown on me because it's like a throwback to the, when in the 90s you get those 12-inch singles of hip-hop songs. You'd get like a Nothing But a G Thing single or, whatever it would be. And it would come basically just in a plain white sleeve or like maybe a purple if it was the Def Jam. So actually, as I've kind of gotten it and gotten used to it, I kind of dig it because it's something different. Because I'm sure if they do repress it, it will be the full, cover of it, which is cool, and maybe I'll want that too. But I kind of like having this, and it's a great record. So this is one I had to pick up. I really wanted the Lost in Translation soundtrack. I had it in my hand, and I'm looking at doing math in my head as I have all this stuff, and I finally decided, all right, I got to pare it down, and that's the one I'm kicking myself more than anything, because a lot of stuff you can still find online without being inflated, and that's one I can't. So I'm hoping maybe I'll get lucky and stop into a store and they'll have an extra one. Office Space, the same thing, but I know I can still find that online. Then I did pick up a couple 7 inches. Excuse me, I can't talk. Bad Religion, My Sanity. It's just 2 tracks, My Sanity and Chaos From Within. As of yet, not on any album. Maybe they will be. I know Bad Religion's releasing a new album, but if you know me, anything Bad Religion puts out, I have to pick up. So it was like, yeah, that was a no-brainer. I mean, I think it was $7 or whatever. It's a typical record store day 7-inch, so got that. Then I also got the Menzingers, who's a really cool punk band out of Philadelphia I'm into. Also 7-inch, No Penance in Cemetery's Garden. One kind of cool thing about it is, and I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, but No Penance is actually spelled wrong on the sleeve, so that's kind of cool. This was a limited run too. I want to say there was 1,000, 2,000 copies. The last one was also one for my wife, but I actually love this song. Lord Huron, The Night We Met, featuring Phoebe Bridgers. I'm not too familiar with Lord Huron's music beyond this song. I know he's kind of a popular artist amongst a certain kind of demographic. I've never heard of him, and my wife on her Spotify, she has her work Spotify playlist where it's just whatever tunes. And I'll hear it, and I heard this song, and I was like, hey, I really like that song. Who is that? And she told me, and lo and behold, they happened to be doing a record store day 7-inch pressing of it. And actually, funny enough, I forgot about it. This is one we circled on our lists. We got to get this. And I'm at the front. I'm getting ready to check out. I had, begrudgingly put a couple things back. And she walks up. She's like, you didn't pick this up. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, green light to spend more money. Cool. So we got this. This is the last thing we grabbed. And I'm glad we did because, again, it's a really cool song. It's one-sided. The backside, I haven't actually opened this one yet. The backside's etched, which is kind of cool. It's like a little design. But Lord Huron featuring Phoebe Bridgers, The Night We Met. I got to look more into his music because I really like this song. But that's about the extent of the music I know. So, hey, the 7-inch kind of works perfectly because I know that tune. So that was my record store day haul, at least for, record store day releases. Obviously, as Kaiser said, a lot of stores put other things out that are not record store day stuff. But those are the record store day ones I picked up. And hey, and if you happen to be watching this and you have a Lost in Translation, an extra one, I really do want that. A lot of Kevin Shields and My Bloody Valentine, if you don't know. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Well, I do. I was trying to pare down, but whatever. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and we'll see you next time.